Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all fine and I hope you're all having fun. I hope you all had a great Game Week 22 and I welcome you to the live stream for my team reveal for Game Week 23. So how's it going guys? Before I come to the chat and answer your questions, I'd just like to tell you talk you through my team and how I'm setting up for Game Week 23. Once I'm done with that, I'm gonna be having enough time to take your questions and answer any of your dilemmas. So as you can see, my team here. This is excuse me. This is my final team for Game Week 23, in which I've made one transfer. I had Andy Robertson in my team ever since I think Game Week 13, but he's made way for Ben Mee, and I've targeted Ben Mee because, as you all know, Burnley got a double game week in Game Week 24, in which they're playing Crystal Palace and Fulham, so the fixtures were good. Even in Game Week 23, since I had two transfers, I had to use one transfer so that my transfer wouldn't get wasted. So I've got Brighton here with Ben Mee, and then I've got two fixtures in 24. In 25, they play against West Bromwich Albion, and then I'm going to transfer him out, hopefully for some double game week player in 26. So that's the plan. I've made one transfer. I still have one more transfer, but I'm not going to make it this game week. I'm going to save my transfer, and next week probably I'm going to make two transfers. So this is about the transfer that I made, and I'm playing both Antonio and Soucek, and I'm benching Sofal because I just don't want to play three West Ham players, and I feel that even Dallas has a decent fixture against Crystal Palace, and other than that, I'm benching my two City players. Feel a little bit difficult to bench City in the form that they're in at the moment, but I feel that like John Stone doesn't offer that much attacking threat, so that's why he's on the bench. And with Gundogan, I think Soucek is a better option than Gundogan for this game week, so I'm going with Soucek for the game week. I was a little bit dubious about Calvert-Lewin against Manchester United, especially that they seem to be in good form. But I think we shouldn't judge Manchester United on the basis of the performance against Southampton, because Southampton they got a very very early red card, and after that it was all downhill from there. And Southampton have the tendency to buckle under this kind of situations and this kind of pressure. We've seen these 9-0s and 9-1 scores before, so that's the reason I'm just not too much bothered about this. So I had a doubt about Calvert-Lewin, but I decided that I just put him in my team because I didn't like the chances of Gundogan or Stones. Maybe so far I could have played over Calvert-Lewin, but it was a bit touch and go. So in the end I decided to kind of divide the risk a little bit, because I already had two West Ham United players. So I thought that rather than putting in Sofal and I just play Calvert-Lewin. So this is about my team, guys, and out of Johnston and McCarthy, automatically I just pick McCarthy, and my captain is going to be Bruno Fernandes for this game week. Although I'm a little bit averse to the situation in which Pogba actually starts for United, because the stats when Pogba starts for United and doesn't start for United of Bruno Fernandes, they are absolutely contrasting, and it's just a little bit of a matter of a concern for me. But this game week there was I could have captained Son, but their performance against Chelsea was so bad, guys. Son was nowhere to be seen. The first touch in the box he had was in the 87th minute, so you can very well imagine that how that match went, and if you weren't able to watch it, it was a very very tough watch. And I think Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea is not going to be the most entertaining team to watch, but I think they're pretty solid. And from Chelsea, I also had a look at somebody like Marcos Alonso. I had a look at Antonio Rudiger as well, and I might think to bring them in because they've got good fixtures as well. But for this game week, I preferred Ben Mee, and since I was targeting game week 24 double game week, and I thought even against Brighton, I think Burnley are the kind of team that can keep a clean sheet, so that's the reason I brought Ben Mee in, and I had two free transfers, so I had to make one. So I thought this is a good way to kind of use my free transfer. All right, so the vice captain is Son, the captain is Fernandez, and this is about my team, guys. Now I'm coming. I'm gonna come back to the chat, and I'm gonna take your questions. All right, so it says, "What's up, Wiz? What is your plan?" My plan is simply, I've already made my transfer. I transferred out Robertson for Ben Me with a heavy heart because I like Robertson a lot, and but Liverpool defense hasn't been performing too well. FPL Sam says Son captain, let's go. I think that's a good captaincy option, but I just didn't like the look of Spurs without Harry Kane, so I just didn't want to go there. But good luck to you, bro. Yash says finally not benching Soucek. Yeah, I guess because I'm not benching Soucek and he might blank this game week. Sometimes these things happen. I tend to break players. Light says I made the exact same transfer, me for Robertson and holding the other. Yeah, I think that's a good strategy because before the double game week, you'd probably want to hold your transfers. Something might come up and you might want to bring some particular player in. So it's always good to have 2 free transfers before the double game week. Aditya says, what made you choose me instead of Pope or Lowton? That's a very interesting question by Aditya because I wanted to go for Nick Pope. Unfortunately, I didn't have the budget to go for Pope because he's 5.5 million and I just had 0.2 million in the bank, and McCarthy's 4.7 and Johnston is 4.5, so I didn't have the money to bring in Pope. That is the reason I decided to go for Ben Mee because I wanted their defense, a cover for their defense, and I preferred to go for Nick Pope as well because I could have kept him throughout the season because Burnley are against mid-level and small teams, they tend to keep clean sheets, so I didn't have a problem with that. But since I didn't have the budget and I did not want to make 2 transfers, I wanted to have 2 transfers going into the game week 24, so that is the reason I went for me. For Lowton, he doesn't have much attacking threat. If you look at the stats, of Burnley and how they are kind of playing, Ben Mee has the highest. I think he has the second highest XG out of the defenders. I think the highest is Tarkowski, but Ben Mee has actually scored 2 goals, right? Tarkowski hasn't scored this season. Lowton hasn't scored. Taylor is injured, and so that is the reason I prefer to go for Ben Mee over Lowton because I feel that Ben Mee has this threat in the box. He can give a long ball assist as well. So that was the reason. Otherwise, I think Lowton, if you just want to go for the clean sheets, I think 4.4 million Lowton is an excellent option as well. If anybody wants to double up on their defense or anything for the double game week, Matt Lowton is the way to go, along with Nick Pope, I guess. Alrighty. Abhishek says, how about Antonio captain? I think Antonio captain is a fantastic option for this game week, and he's my kind of the second best option for captaincy. Although I have my vice captain on Son, but is just because I feel that Bruno is going to play the game. It doesn't matter who my vice captain is. Otherwise, I think Antonio is definitely a good option for a captaincy. Sterling for Son, a good idea. I don't understand. You mean selling Sterling for Son, or I don't think so, my friend. I am not too much, I'm not too impressed by the way Spurs have been playing post Harry Kane injury. And unless he comes back, if you own Son, you keep him. If you don't own him, transferring him in, just don't see the upside with that, with that move. Especially, because after this game as well, they play against Manchester City, and you really want to get in Son for one game. It's a bit touch and go for me. If I was you, I wouldn't do it. Lighter says, I wish Manchester United would sell Pogba. Total destruction. Nishchil says, me or Pope. I mean, I don't have a good answer for that, my friend. It depends on your team and how your team is setting up. Like, if you have the money, you can definitely if you want to go for Pope, you can. I mean, I didn't have the funds. That is the reason I went for Ben Mee over Nick Pope. So, yeah. Bhave says, is it worth to bring in Jorginho in for Gundogan? Manchester City have 2 hard fixtures. Yeah, I wouldn't be against that, to be honest with you, Bhavesh. I think it is a good call. If I had enough money, I would possibly think about that as well. The only problem with this move is Manchester City have a double game week in game week 24 as well. And you'll probably want 3 City players because City play against Tottenham, but they also play against Everton at home, right? So you will want 3 City players for that double game week, and that is my only concern. Otherwise, I would do that move. Should I transfer out Barnes for Soucek? I don't think so, my friend. I mean, I know, Leicester have a tough fixture against Wolves, or a tougher fixture against Wolves, but I honestly feel that Barnes is a good option. With Vardy coming back soon, Barnes is a good option, definitely. Vimal says, "Hi, I tagged you on my team on Twitter. Please suggest." Vimal, can you please post your question here? I'd be much, it'd be much easier for me to answer, bro. Ahmed says, "Gundogan benched." Yeah, I have benched Gundogan. Unfortunately, I know it might come back to bite me, but the only players that I possibly could get in Gundogan in for is Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but I feel that United defense is not as airtight as it seemed against Southampton, or against Arsenal. Arsenal had lots of chances to score. Southampton didn't have any chances, but because they were got red carded at the start of the match itself, and even Che Adams did score a goal. It was offside by a whisker. So I feel that DCL can have a chance. Devendra says, "I had Jorginho help to gain 95 last week." That's pretty good, my friend. I think Jorginho is a decent option, but in the same price range, you can go for somebody like Saka, you can go for somebody like Soucek, you can even go for somebody like Ademola Lookman. So is Jorginho the best option? Probably not. Is he the best Chelsea option? Probably not. The only reason you might want to go for him is because he's on penalties, but that is not the right reason to go for a player, in my opinion. Yes is whether you're targeting any Everton player for any other Everton player. To be honest with you, yes, no, because I don't fancy Everton to be too dangerous. Yeah, they have a match against Fulham, right? But Fulham also don't concede too many goals. So maybe I would have looked at Dean or somebody like that. But for now, I'm just going to target my long-term plan. For the double game week, I've already got 3 City players. I've got Ben Mee in here. I've got McCarthy as well. I've got Bamford. I've got Dallas. So I think I have a pretty strong team, and then I've got 2 transfers for the next week, so I'm going to think about that as well. I might bring in 1 or 2. That should I sell Shaw, Sofal, or Stones for me? I'm not sure if you should sell any of them, my friend. And Sofal has a good fixture this game week. Shaw is one of the most attacking defenders in the league. John Stones, I think, is a season keeper. Cheapest City defender out of the centre backs. So I just sold Robertson for me because Robertson had difficult fixtures and I wanted a Burnley cover. But for those players, I'm not sure which one you should sell, because I would love to keep all those players in my team if I had them. Rizzi. Yes, says Reece James, Sofal, Shaw, Kilman, Stone. Which 3 start? I mean, I would start Reece James. I hope he starts though. Out of Kilman, I wouldn't start. Stones, I possibly wouldn't start. I say Reece James, Sofal, and Shaw, I would start these. By the way, guys, we've got 45 people watching. I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. I'll try to answer all your questions. Meanwhile, please do hit that like button, And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Raga says, "Hi, Wiz, Cancelo or Diaz?" I mean, if I had Cancelo, I would possibly bench Diaz and I would start Cancelo. Unfortunately, I've just got Stones and Diaz, so I prefer starting Diaz over him. Excuse me. But if I had Cancelo, I would start Cancelo over Diaz. Shopman says, "Start with Dallas or Sofal." Read that the Fulham isn't poor from their left and mid side. I mean, I just don't read too much into that. You remember when everybody went for Mane against, who was it, Fulham, and everybody said that because Fulham are exposed on their right back position, Mane is going to score a lot of points, and in the end he didn't do anything against them. Even Robertson didn't do anything against them. So I mean, I won't read too much into that, to be honest with you, Shopman. But if you have 2 West Ham players, I would start both of them against Fulham. If like me you've got 3, then I'd possibly think about benching 1, because Fulham is not as bad as they as West Bromwich Albion. I think their defense is good, and they have a tendency to score a goal or 2 as well. So that's what I feel. So on for captain. If you want to take a risk, you can, my friend. The reason is why I'm not going for Son is because Son. I mean, Spurs were so bad against Chelsea. They were just abysmal against Chelsea. And I know West Bromwich Albion is a very bad team, so it is a little bit like the unstoppable force versus the immovable object. Spurs are lackadaisical. West Bromwich Albion are hopeless. So, does the lackadaisical win or does the hopeless win? We don't know, but we do expect Son to do something against them, right? How much depends on the service that Son gets, right? So if I was you, I'd definitely consider Son, but would he be my first choice if Kane was playing? Yes, no, not for me. Bruno, your cap locked with. Yeah, like my captain is locked, my friend. Because historically as well. I mean, Bruno doesn't have too much history of playing in England, but ever since he's come, he tends to do well against Everton. That's one thing. Second, I think Everton are the kind of team that Bruno can expose. Because Everton are not just going to sit back. They're going to play. They're trying to attack and score. That's the way Carlo Ancelotti likes to play. So I feel that Bruno does have a chance against Everton. So yeah, my captain is locked. Amrit says me versus Cancelo for bench. I mean, if you don't have any other City defenders, I'd possibly consider Cancelo as well, because Cancelo is not just a defender, right? He's got this attacking threat that, he plays higher up, he creates a lot and he has a lot of chances. So if I was you, I'd possibly play Cancelo. If you're not playing any other City player. John says I've got Wilson, Antonio, Bamford, Madison, Gundogan, Salah, Fernandes, Grealish. Wow, that's a difficult one, my friend. Which one to bench? Wilson has a good fixture. Antonio as well. Bamford obviously has a decent one as well. Crystal Palace, Madison, Gundogan. I mean, if I was you, I'd possibly think about benching Gundogan out of that. Honestly, I don't see anybody else. If he does well, my friend, again, I'm just giving you my opinion. But if I was you, I'd bench Gundogan. Bench Gundogan and start with DCL. Well, Chopin, that's what I'm doing, right? So. Obviously, I tend to believe that DCL has a better chance of points than Gundogan, because I think Liverpool tend to do better in big games, and I'm just not able to imagine what kind of game Liverpool and City is gonna be in, because I'm not able to predict the form that Liverpool are in at the moment. Sometimes they seem good, sometimes they seem very bad. Against United in the FA Cup, Salah scored 2 goals, and then in the next game as well, Salah scored 2, and after that he blanked against really, really, the team that we expect him to score against. Last week, what better fixture? Brighton is Salah's, bread and butter, and last season as well, when Salah was not in form, even then he did really well against Brighton. But so that we can just predict, right? So I'm just going with DCL. Which one out of these should I bench? Souček, Salah, Wilson, or Calvert-Lewin? Whoa. I'm not going to tell you to bench Souček, but the thing is, if you don't have any other West Ham players, actually, Doncha, the problem is Salah has the toughest fixture, but you can't bench him. A 12.5 or 12.7 million asset, you cannot bench. Wilson, he's in good form. He has a decent fixture as well. Souček, you already know. If I was you, I'd be tempted to bench DCL out of those, But again, it's just my opinion. Please make your own decisions. Transfer you made, Pro Gamer said. I transferred out Robertson for Ben Me, Pro Gamer. Nike says Antonio my captain for this week. Good luck to you, Nike. I think that's a very good captaincy choice, to be honest with you. Oysen says play Diaz, DCL, or Gundogan. If I had to choose one, I'd possibly think about Diaz. If I had to choose one out of them, Diaz or DCL, I would possibly bench Gundogan. Again, guys, I know Gundogan is on penalties for City and he can do bits and whatnot, but you have to bench some people, because of the bench boost, we made really strong teams and we all got really strong benches, right? And so in the end, you are going to get points on the bench, unfortunately, because we are not only having enablers on the bench, we are having like strong players here, right? So just be wary about that. Barnes or DCL? If I was you, I'd play Barnes, my friend. Harvey Barnes. I would play him. Sean says, cheers, man. I have Gundogan benched as well already, because I thought so. Yeah, hopefully it works out for you, Sean. Someone says, Wiz, why me over Pope? I already answered that, by the way, Soman. I didn't have money to go for Pope. You know, I had required like 0.9 million if I had to go from McCarthy to Pope. I didn't have that much funds in the bank. I just had 0.2 million. So to cover the Burnley defense and to get a little bit of an attacking threat out of Burnley, I went for Pope, Ben Mee over Pope. If I had the chance, would I still take Mee over Pope? No, I wouldn't. If I had the money, I would go Pope over Ben Mee. Play Shaw or DCL? That's a tough one, Heyman. I mean, if I was you, I'd possibly play DCL. If I was you, because my strategy, you know, general strategy, because when I always like to play the attacker over the defender, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin doesn't need too many chances to score. I mean, you know, from corners, from headers, they've got players who can give good delivery, like, you know, James Rodriguez and Luka Dean. So Salah is my armband player, says Ahmed. Good luck to you, my friend. I mean, he didn't do anything against Brighton, not many people are going to captain him this game week, so I hope it works out for you, by the way. Dexter says Fabianski, Dallas, Robo, Stones, Kilman, Target, Grealish, Son, Salah, Bruno, Souček, Watkins, Antonio, Bamford. I got one transfer. Should I hold and not transfer and get 2 transfers for a double game week? I don't see any holes in your team or pressing issues, my friend. If you can, I think you should roll and target the double game week. I think that's a good ploy in my opinion. Brian says McCarthy, James, Cresswell, Dallas, Salah, Gundogan, Grealish, Son, Bruno, Antonio, and Werner. That's a good team, my friend. I mean, yeah, I know you were saying about Werner that he's got to come good at some point. I mean, it sounds a bit like gambler's fallacy, right? I mean, I don't know if you were aware about that. Gambler's fallacy basically means, you know, like a gambler puts some money on something on a roulette, for example, right? And he puts the money on the same thing again and again, expecting to win. Like, this time it'll be my turn, this time it'll be my turn, and in turn he loses a lot of money. That is called gambler's fallacy, like doing something again and again and expecting, you know, something to work for you. But you know, I'm not sure if it is the same in FPL, but gambler's fallacy is, you know, really like 2 psychological problems in FPL. One is the confirmation bias, and second is the gambler's fallacy. They are really important for FPL. So sometimes I think sometimes we need to be loyal with our players, and sometimes we need to kind of, you know, shake them up a little bit, you know, just transfer them out when they're not working out. But I understand your point. With the new manager, I hope it works out for you. Play Diaz or Lowton, says Ali. I mean, if I was you, I'd possibly be tempted to play. If you don't have any other City player in your starting lineup, then I would play Diaz. If you have like somebody like Gundogan already playing, then I would play Lowton. Success says, what are your strategies for the double game week? Well, the strategy is pretty clear. Success, I've already got like Dallas, I've got Bamford, I've got McCarthy from Southampton, right? I've got 3 City players as well, and now I've brought in Ben Mee. So I think I'm pretty well prepared for the double game week, and I still have 2 transfers that I'm going to make next week. So I think my team is going to be pretty solid for the double game week, at least I hope so. Rodriguez or Eze for this week? For this week, you say, huh? I have to see. So Palace play against Leeds, right? And who does Everton play against United? I mean, to be honest with you, I know you know, James Rodriguez has a better, you know, he's a better footballer, but you know, against Leeds, I would be tempted to play Eze. You know, just for the reason that Leeds are not good defensively. Johan says, should I be looking to transfer out Foden for another City option? Have Stones and Cancelo, not necessarily for this week, but asking so I can plan this week's transfer. Yeah, the thing with Foden is, you know, whenever he plays, he just looks like such a fantastic player, but I just don't know why Pep doesn't play him more often. You know, it might be something related to his work rate, or maybe his positioning or something like that. But if I was you, I would be tempted to sell Foden. You know, for who? It depends on how much transfer you have, how much transfer budget you have. But yeah, if I was you, I would be tempted to sell Phil Foden. Yeah. Are you thinking to double up on the Burnley defense? Light, it depends on how they play in this week, right? If they keep a clean sheet against Brighton and they look pretty solid to me, I might think about doubling up with, you know, getting Pope along with in place of Johnston along with Ben Mee. If they're not doing so well in this game week, then I think I'll pretty much stick with Pope. With Ben Mee. Apologies. Johan says, yeah, I already answered that. Aditya says, think a lot of people are playing Socek this week, so as usual, he's going to blank. Well, the problem with Socek is that, he can score against any opposition and he can blank against any opposition. And that is the problem. Like, he can blank against West Bromwich Albion, he can blank against Fulham, and he can score against Liverpool and City because he's just kind of a lamppost kind of a player. I don't mean to be derogatory against a player who's like sixth in midfield in FPL, but just saying, lamppost in the sense that he's just going to take headers and stuff. So, it doesn't matter who he plays against. He can score against anyone and he can blank against anyone. It all depends upon the chances he gets and the strategy that David Moyes is playing with. So, yeah, that's about Socek. But if I was to make a decision on Socek, he would be in my playing 11. He would be a part of my playing 11. Otherwise, he would not be in my team because it is just too much frustration week in, week out to take. Because, you put him on the bench, he scores a goal against a big team. You put him in the team against Fulham like we're doing now, and he might blank. Very well, might. So, if you really want to get the best out of Socek, you play him every week. Viz, please answer my question, says Faz. Sure, Faz. He says Mitchell, Chelsea asset, probably Rudiger, have Cancelo, Diaz, me, and Justin. Mitchell to a Chelsea asset, you mean, right? Yeah, I think Rudiger is a good option. I mean, from what we've seen of Tuchel right now, I think Rudiger can be a good option, 4.6 million right now. And, if he plays every week, he does have an aerial threat from the set pieces as well. So I would be for it. Definitely, I think it's a good option. With Mitchell, I think, it's better to get a player who plays week in, week out, and 4.6 million for a Chelsea asset, amazing. Should I play Rafinha or Wilson? Chirag, I would play both, my friend. I don't know how to choose between them because Rafinha is playing against Crystal Palace at home, and Wilson also has a good fixture. Wilson is playing against Southampton, right? So technically, obviously, Southampton is a better team than Crystal Palace, I feel. But if I was you, I'd be tempted to play both of them. It's hard to choose between those two. William says, do I captain Fernandes or Mendy the goalkeeper? I'm sure he'll keep a clean sheet. William, that totally depends on you, my friend. The thing with captaining a goalkeeper is, are you expecting him to save a penalty? Are you expecting what is the cap or what is the ceiling that you're expecting from Mendy week in, week out? 6 points, 7 maybe. I think that you should aim for more captaincy points. Even if you don't get them, you should always aim for at least 15 or more captaincy points, because 6 is the bare minimum, right? So if I was you, I would be tempted to still captain Fernandes, even if you feel that Mendy is going to keep a clean sheet. Common says, I've done McCarthy to Pope with Pope, Sofal, Cancelo, Chilwell, with Justin on the bench if Chilwell doesn't start. Yeah, I think that's fair enough, my friend. I think you've got Cancelo, and that's a good thing. I mean, I wish I had Cancelo as well, but I don't. I mean, I'm not sure whether Chilwell is going to start or not. I think Alonso is higher in the pecking order at the moment. I don't know whether Chilwell is injured or does Tuchel just prefer Alonso to Chilwell. But let's see what happens. I like that team, by the way. Bamford, Antonio, Son, Bruno. Who to captain? I mean, I think they're good options. I mean, Antonio, Son and Bruno are, in my opinion, 3 really good options for this week. And I have all 3 players, and I'm going for Bruno because I feel that United in general are in decent scoring form. Defensively, I'm not so sure about them at the moment, but in scoring form, I think United are fine. So that's the reason I'm going with Bruno. But you should go with your gut. I don't feel any bad option. Is out of those 4. All of them are good options. Hang on, guys. Let me have a drink of water. And meanwhile, please do like the stream. Um, Aditya says the inconsistency is why I got Rafinha instead of Socek. Yeah, that's good. I mean, Rafinha is an equally good asset. I mean, I would like to say he's a much better footballer, and he plays in a different position, so you really can't compare him with Socek. But I feel they're both good options, honestly. Jackson says, "What transfers did you make?" I transferred out Robertson for Ben Me. From next time onwards, guys, I'm going to kind of change the template a bit, and I'm going to write my transfer so that I don't have to answer it again. I'm going to write it somewhere, that the transfer that I made. Nike says, I would like to go for Lowton, but is he nailed to start week in week out, or will he be benched when Charlie Taylor returns? No, I think Lowton is nailed on. He doesn't play at left back, he plays at right back, and I think he's the first choice right back for Burnley, so I don't think there's any problem with him being not nailed on. I think he is nailed on, definitely. Mark says, hi, anything you think I should change for this weekend? Sanchez, Rudiger, Dallas, Sofal, Salah, Sterling, De Bruyne, Eze. De Bruyne? I don't know why you have De Bruyne in there, bro. He's not even fit. Eze, Calvert-Lewin, Bamford, Watkins, Subs, Martinez, Gundogan, Stones, Mitchell. Yeah, I like that team, my friend. I don't see any problems there, but I don't understand. How can you have 4 City players in Sterling, De Bruyne, Gundogan, and Stones? I think there is a mistake there. William says, I have Diaz and Cancelo, still hoping for a clean sheet. Well, that's good, my friend. I mean, the more the risk, the more the reward. It all depends upon, it all depends on the strategy. But I think one City player against Liverpool is good enough, because this is going to be a cagey game from what I can predict. Danforth says, start Cancelo or Dallas. Stones already on the bench. I mean, I would definitely start one City defender, Danforth. I wouldn't bench both of them. If I had two, I'd be tempted to start one. I mean, some people are starting even 2 of them. So it all depends on how much risk versus reward kind of a temperament you have while playing FPL. Sagar says, why are you benching Gundogan? If City score, then Gundogan will be the assister. Yes, that is possible, Sagar. I just feel that it's just going to be a very cagey game, and I just don't want to put too many players in from that game, because I already have Salah, right, and I already have one defender, and I have to play Diaz, because I still think that City can definitely get a clean sheet against Liverpool. So one City player I had to play, it would be the defender, so that is the reason I'm just benching Gundogan. I just hope he doesn't punish me. The problem is, we've got so strong benches, right, due to this bench boost. So any player we bench is going to be a question, why are you benching him? Because we've got strong benches, right? The best option would be to get rid of these expensive players and put some enablers like, Anguissa on the bench, so that we don't have this headache week in, week out. Matt says, Son or Fernandes captain this week. Spurs are favorites to score 2.5 goals. I mean, Matt, if you watch the game against Chelsea, do they look like even scoring 1 goal, let alone 2.5? I know West Brom are atrocious, but you still, they need creativity. Spurs didn't create anything against Chelsea, and it was just so bad. Even before that, the game before that, I mean, who did they play against before Chelsea, in which Son got an assist? I think he did. No, you see, against Brighton, I mean, 1-0, they lost 1-0 against Chelsea. I just don't see them scoring too many goals, honestly, even though it's West Brom. I already said it's the unstoppable force versus the immovable object. It's more like a stoppable force versus an movable object. Maybe they're gonna score 1 or 2 goals, I guess. Just don't know what's gonna happen there. Nishchil says, Justin or Madison? I'd say Madison, bro, because I feel that picking an attacking player is better against Wolves. Don't think the thing is that you can play both of them, because Wolves are not even in the best attacking form at the moment. But if I was you, if I had to pick one, I would pick Madison. Right, so Matt says, I agree Spurs look bad, but the bookies are still basing this on stats. Just thought I'd mention it. Yeah, I did read the stats, my friend. I know Son is the highest possibility of scoring a goal this game week, but I still feel that bookies are, not always right. Hopefully they are not, but Solomon says guess the player. 4.5 million initial price. He was supposed to be benched after game week 5 once Pereira is back, and he got me 15 points last week. Absolute legend. Justin. I can't stand the side of Justin because he's been hurting me so much in FPL this season. Honestly, I mean, we all expected him to be benched after Pereira is back, and he's still going strong and getting points. I mean, he's scoring goals now. It's crazy. But I can't bring him in now. The fixture is too difficult. I mean, not this one. Maybe Wolves is fine, but the next one is even more difficult. So Justin has to stay out of my team, unfortunately, and continue to hurt me. Super Duper says, who to captain this week? Well, it depends on your team, my friend. Again, I told you this week, I mean, Antonio is a really solid option if you want to go there. Bruno Fernandes is always a decent option, although as I showed you last time on the deadline stream, and many people have been very angry with me, but I mean they were angry with me because I told them not to captain Bruno, or I thought that Bruno was not a good option, but I showed them the stats, right? Ever since Pogba started playing against Wolves, 6, 10, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3. I mean, this is the impact of Paul Pogba in the team, and where Bruno plays and how his creativity is affected. So I was just making the point on the basis of stats and the facts and figures. I mean, I did not expect Southampton to lose their player. Don't even Junkwitz or somebody like. I mean, I didn't expect him to get a red card in the very first minute, and then it was always going to be downhill from there. I mean, so that is the reason why Bruno got these points, and he was not even doing so well in that game. He got a penalty which was very dubious, and so we should always base our decisions on facts, guys. I mean, nobody can predict, right? Nobody who could have predicted like David Luiz getting sent off and something like that. Right, so in my opinion, Son is not the best option, but he's a good option. Antonio is good. Bruno Fernandes is also good. So yeah. George says, hey everyone, sorry I'm late. Hey, welcome to the live stream, George. Nice to have you here. Nicholas says, Pope triple captain, Game Week 24. Let's talk about it when we get to Game Week 24, Nicholas. But yeah, definitely a good option to have in your team, even if not triple captain. Hi Wizard, do you think it's good to sell Martinez and buy Pope? I mean, in my opinion, I think Martinez is a season keeper, because they are going to have a lot of double game weeks as well. I'll just remember, Aston Villa have played 3 games less than their counterparts, right? The other teams. So Aston Villa have to have double game weeks as well. So that is the reason if I could get Pope in place of my other keeper, it would be better, because otherwise you can get Pope for 2 or 3 game weeks and then sell him back for Martinez. But would you like to do 2 transfers just for keepers? That is the question, right? Aditya says going differential this week. Antonio captain. I think he's no differential. I think he's been doing well ever since he's come into the team, my friend. He's been giving you consistent returns. So in my opinion, he's not a differential at all. I mean, not a bad option at all. Like 9, 9, 5, 8. I mean, just blanked in 1 game ever since he started playing again. So I think he's a fantastic option. Ajay says, hello mate. Hey Ajay, welcome my friend. Ajay, what is your rank now, my friend? Last week I told you he was around in the 200 something mark, and now he's in the top 100, guys. So he's doing really well. So congratulations and keep it up, bro. Choplin says, are you expecting Pogba to start? Yes, I am. I'm expecting Pogba to start. Yes, I think Pogba's got his well-deserved rest, and I do expect Pogba to start. Yes. Ben says, play 3 out of Dyer, Sofal, Diaz, Stones, and Dallas. I would play. Would I play Dyer against West Bromwich Albion? Possibly would. To be honest with you, I'd play Dyer because I expect them to keep a clean sheet, if not score too many goals. And I would play Sofal. If you don't have, it depends on how many West Ham players you have. If you don't have Souček or if you don't have Antonio, then I would be tempted to start Dyer, Sofal, and Dallas. Or Diaz. I would start Dyer and Sofal. If you do have Souček or Antonio, then I would bench Sofal and start Dyer, Diaz, and Dallas. So it depends upon your team. Play Gundogan or DCL. Well, Alif, you can see my team. You know who I'm playing over over Gundogan. I have DCL in my team and I have Gundogan on the bench, so that is my opinion about that. Again, none of them is a bad option and none of them is an excellent option. So, it's just in the balance. Yash says, Wiz, when is the best time to use your second wildcard? Actually, Yash, it depends on whether you have your free hit or you don't have your free hit. Actually, if you have your free hit, then you're probably not going to have a problem, navigating the blank game week in game week 29. But if you don't have a free hit, then you might have a problem. So it all depends on your free hit. So if you don't have a free hit, then I would be tempted to kind of use it between 26 and 29, depending upon how the fixtures in FA Cup 5th round go and how many teams are blanking in game week 29. So it's all up in the air, my friend. We need to know which teams are going to play in the FA Cup next round to kind of exactly figure out a strategy. Rafinha in for Watkins. Yeah, I mean, you can do it. Watkins has a little bit of a tough fixture against Arsenal. Rafinha has a decent fixture against Crystal Palace and he's in good form as well. Although Watkins has been getting 1 goal every game as well. So if I was you, I'd possibly, yes, I would do it. Alif says, Justin, Sofal, Shaw, Diaz. I already answered that. Sudhanshu says, have all 4 chips. Left confused when to wildcard. Should I do it after the big double or before a bench boost? Well, it depends. If you have your bench boost, the big double game week is going to be in game week 26. And if you can make a bench boost team without having to use your chips, then it is fair enough. If not, then you should wildcard in 25. Make a strong team, including a strong bench boost in the double game week 26, and then free hit in game week 29, and that would be pretty much my strategy for that. Success says me or Diaz, Gundogan or Souček. Depends. I'd play one City player. Success. That is the whole condition. So if you want to play me, you should play you. I wouldn't be against playing Souček and me over Diaz and Gundogan for this game week, but I'd say if you have Antonio, then I'd say still play Souček this game week. I think lots of people are going to play him against Fulham. So if I was you, as you can see, I'm playing Souček over Gundogan, right? Me or Diaz, it's a little bit dubious one. I think if I was you, I'd possibly play me over Diaz as well. But again, my friend, it's my opinion. It is subjective, and make your own decision, bro. William says, do I start West Brom midfielder Pereira over Cancelo or Diaz? If so, which one? I'm 1 million. I need to get myself up there. The thing is, West Bromwich Albion Pereira, he's fine. I mean, would you start him? Would I start him over Diaz? Possibly yes. Would I start him over Cancelo? Possibly not. I think Cancelo has this additional creative burden in the absence of KDB. So I think he's a really good option. And if I had Cancelo, Diaz and Pereira, I would start Cancelo out of all of them. I feel that Cancelo is going to play on the right back in this game. I feel that Cancelo is going to play right back. He might even play in midfield, because I feel that on the left wing or the left back position, I think Pep Guardiola might be tempted to play Laporte with Diaz and Stones in the middle and then Cancelo on the right. So, or if Kyle Walker starts on the right, then Cancelo can be pushed further up to give the creative, impetus to the team. Or let's see how they line up, because Pep is very unpredictable. Ajay says current rank is 114. I am confused about my transfer this week. What can I do? Holding to me or De Gea to Pope? I mean, both transfers look good to me, Ajay. And if I could have brought in Pope in place of McCarthy, I would have brought in Pope, because I didn't have the money. That is the reason I went from Robertson to Ben Mee. Otherwise, I feel that Pope is a good transfer, especially targeting the double game week. So that is my opinion. Play Justin or Cancelo. I would play against Wolves, right? I'd possibly, if you can take the risk a little bit, I'd play Justin, because Wolves are not in a really good goal scoring form, and I think Justin is a good option as well. Although I would suggest you to play one City player at least, just to take out the risk, because everybody would have one City defender. So Christian says, would you play Cancelo or Diaz or both? I would suggest playing one City player. Again, Christian, it depends upon whether you would like to take the risk or you'd like to divide the risk. For me, I like to divide the risk a little bit, so I'm playing like, that is the reason I'm not playing Antonio, Soucek, and Sofal, right? I'm playing Antonio and Soucek, and then I'm playing, I have Sofal on my bench, and I'm playing DCL in place of Sofal. I'd like to divide the risk. So it all depends on what is your strategy in which you like to play the game. Custon says Vardy or Soucek and Ben Me or Stones. I mean, Vardy, if Vardy is fit, so I can't tell you to not play Vardy, my friend. I honestly think Vardy has to start. If you have him in your team and Rogers said he was fit again, I would definitely put Vardy in the team. Over Ben Me and Stones, I would play Ben Me. Bubbin says Robertson and Brewster to me and Antonio. Yes, I think that those are both good moves, Bubbin. I would support those moves. Sinot says bench 1, Barnes, Rafinha, Watkins. It has to be between. I think I'd play Rafinha, to be honest with you, because I think he's been in good form, and they're playing against Palace, who's, Rafinha plays on the left wing. So basically, if they play Patrick Van Aanholt or they play Mitchell, I mean, they like to kind of press up a little bit, and I think Rafinha can exploit this space. And even if they're sitting back deep, Rafinha can dribble past a couple of defenders as well. So Rafinha would play. I'll bench one out of Barnes and Watkins. Who to play, Stones or Foden or Wilson playing Cancelo? I think if you're already playing Cancelo, I don't think playing Stones might not be the best idea. Foden, I'm not even sure if he's going to start or not, so a little bit dubious about that. I'd possibly play Wilson though, my friend, but it's tough, Lightrace says Liverpool versus City has completely split the FPL community. Managers are benching Liverpool and City assets, seen a lot of different teams. You see, Light, the problem is not City. We know how City are playing, we know the form they are in. The problem is Liverpool, because we are not able to predict the form that Liverpool are in at the moment, And since they are playing at Anfield, we don't expect City to totally just dominate them and beat them completely. That is the reason there are these teams that you're seeing. So I hope for the best though. Adrian says start 2, Bowen, Chilwell, Watkins. I'd start Bowen and Watkins. I feel that Chilwell has been he's gone down the pecking order, and I think Alonso is starting for Chelsea on left back now. So Christian says who goalkeeper would you play, Martinez or McCarthy? I'd be tempted to say McCarthy because they're playing against Newcastle, but if realistically, if you think about the psychological issues, what that 9-0 beating would have done to Southampton, that is the only reason why I would suggest you to play Martinez if you have both of them. Amin says hi guys, hey welcome Amin. Yes, says Wiz, should I start Watkins against Arsenal? I have Grealish also. I mean, to be honest with you, ever since Aston Villa have got promoted in the Premier League, they have a really good record against Arsenal. They just lost once, and that also, Arsenal had a red card and they were trailing 2-1 at home, and then Arsenal scored 2 goals after that. But Aston Villa have done well against Arsenal, so I wouldn't be against starting Watkins and Grealish. So that's my opinion. Which option do you have? If you wouldn't start Watkins, who would you start? Mikos says, who would you captain out of Antonio and Bamford? I would captain Antonio out of those two, my friend. JD says McCarthy or Martinez. I just answered that. KGR says which one to bench? Saka, Gundogan, Watkins, Calvert-Lewin. I would play Saka. Definitely play Saka because I think he's in great form. I would bench one out of Calvert-Lewin, Gundogan, or Watkins. I'd potentially, I'd even play Watkins. If you don't have Grealish, I'd play Watkins. If you are already playing a City defender, I'd possibly bench one out of Gundogan or Calvert-Lewin, depending on which players are you playing in your 11. Yes, says Antonio, cover Bamford. Yeah, I think Antonio is a good captaincy option. Honestly, feel that people just don't feel about Antonio the same way they do about somebody like Salah or Fernandes, because he is not a premium asset in terms of price. But the importance of Antonio to the West Ham team cannot be emphasized more than it already has been. I think he's really important to the system that David Moyes wants to play there. So, they even sold Ole to kind of accommodate Antonio in that position. So, important for them. So far over DCL. Yeah, well, I am just dividing the risk a bit, my friend. Beyond says, would you start Gundogan or Robertson? I would start Gundogan over Robertson, my friend. The thing is, it depends whether you're starting a City defender or not. It depends on that. Dallas or Justin. Guys, you should give me some easy questions sometimes, right? you ask me so many difficult questions, and yeah, it's very hard to reply to all of them at the spur of the moment sometimes. But I'll try my best. Just a second. I hope you can hear me, by the way. So will Gundogan take the penalty? Says Raja. Yes, he will. If they win the penalty, Gundogan. I think after KDB, Gundogan is on penalties, unless Sterling decides to just sky another one. You know, you never know what Sterling can do. But I think Gundogan is on penalties. Callum says Captain Antonio or Fernandes. Well, Callum, if you want to go differential a little bit, you know, you just want to try and attack the game week, I think Antonio could be a good option. If you want to go the safe pick, you know, like you want to go the safety first approach, I think that is Bruno Fernandes for you right there. FPL Jug says hi Wiz. Hey Jug, welcome my friend. Nike says Nyland, Mitchell out and Pope, Lowton in. Nyland, Mitchell out, Pope and Lowton in. Yeah, that's I like those moves, Nike. If you want to double up on the Burnley defense, I like those moves. You know, if you just want to do just Pope for Nyland, I think that's also pretty good in my opinion. Babin says, should I get rid of I lost the question, did I? Apologies, I'll just answer the next one. Rohit says Sterling captain. I wouldn't captain Sterling against Liverpool, Rohit. I feel in the big games, especially against Liverpool and United, Sterling just somehow just doesn't perform well, and I do expect him to do well against Liverpool today. I can't say with any fair amount of certainty. Has he looked in the best of form? No, he hasn't. Yeah, he's been scoring points and whatnot. Has he been looking really sharp? No, he hasn't. The eye test, Sterling, I don't think he's... If you have him in your team, I think that's good enough for me. Bubin says, should I get Watkins or Antonio for a longer run targeting bench boost in Gameweek 26? Bubin, the thing is, I think Antonio is a better asset than Watkins. The reason being, he's on penalties as well for West Ham United. Watkins is a decent asset, right? Is he better than Antonio? No, in my opinion, not. Sagar says which two to bench from Gundogan, Cancelo, Robertson and Stones. I'd say if you have to bench two of them, I'd say I'd play Cancelo and Gundogan or Robertson. I'd bench Stones. Would you make Robo and Gundogan do any defender under 5.2? Currently thinking Dallas and Son, or just get defender and save second. I think just get a defender and save one more transfer, because next game week I think you would like to have 2 free transfers, especially in front of the double game week, right? So just one transfer is enough in my opinion, my friend. Brownie says sorry for the Justin or Dallas question. No problem, my friend. The thing is, with Justin and Dallas, Justin, I don't want to say that Justin doesn't have an attacking threat. Justin does have an attacking threat. He scored a goal last week, right? The problem is against Wolves, will Justin realistically have much of an attacking threat? Because Wolves inherently are a defensive team, right? So that way, I'd like to say Dallas is more attacking. In that case, if I was to play one, which one would it be? It would probably be Justin. If it was me, if I had to pick it. Adams or Gundogan? I'd say Che Adams. If I was, again, Mads, it depends on which players you are playing from City. I'd have played Adams. Raja says Gundo over DCL. You can, guys. Again, you have to make your own decisions. Just do what you feel is right. Just do what your instinct tells you, guys. Alright. Shopman says Viz, good reason Bruno over Antonio. No, I don't have a good reason for it. I feel that the way Everton play, I'll just tell you my reasoning for it. The way Everton play, I feel it plays into the hands of United a little bit, because Everton don't consider themselves a small team. They're gonna try and play out, and they're gonna try and play football. They're gonna try to attack, and because they've got these kinds of players. They've got Richarlison, they've got James Rodriguez, they've got Dean, they've got all these kind of players, new shiny new toys, right? The thing is, these are exactly the kind of teams that Bruno Fernandes can exploit, provided, he is playing a bit further forward as opposed to when Pogba plays. So I'm a little bit concerned with the Bruno captaincy, but I felt he's the safe option to go with this game week. I felt United were were looking really good, although they were playing against 10 men, but the flowing football which United play, I feel that they're going to score against Everton, and at home United tend to do well against Everton anyway. So this is with Antonio. I feel he's a good differential captain. Honestly, I feel if you want to go with Antonio, he's not a problem. It's not a problem. Do I feel Antonio will get a return against Fulham? I think he will. Yes. Dallas or Shaw? If I was you, my friend, I would possibly choose Shaw over Dallas. Definitely choose Shaw. Team Jared says, captaining Antonio, please don't change my mind. No, I don't intend to change your mind, my friend. I am just telling you my own reasons. This is the way I play the game. I just with captaincy, I tend to go with the player I think who's definitely going to get a return. If he gets 2, then it's good for me. If it doesn't, at least I'm safe. That's the reason. That's the way I play the game. Ajay says, holding to me, done. Captain Son only because of fixture over form. Ajay, I hope it works out for you guys. By the way, world number 110, he's in the chat. His name is Ajay Bujel, and he's captaining Son. So you might want to listen to him. Oh yeah. So, start Madison or DCL. If I was you, I'd start Madison over DCL, my friend. I think they've got a better fixture, and Madison is in better form than DCL. Should I start Barnes? Yes, you should. I think Harvey Barnes is a really good option, unless you mean Ashley Barnes, in which case, no. But I know you mean Harvey Barnes, so yes. Meeper says, play Luca Dean or Cancelo. That's tough one, my friend. Which one would I play if I'd possibly lean towards Luca Dean a bit, just a little bit, especially if Pickford is not playing. Pickford is prone to having serious howlers in these games, but I think they're both great options. And if you're not even going to play Cancelo, make sure you play one City player at least. Ishan says, Pope, Justin, Cancelo, Sofal, Souček, Fernandes, Gundogan, Salah, Grealish, Bamford, Antonio. Yeah, I think that's a pretty solid team, my friend. And you're captaining Antonio. I think that's pretty nice. You've got, yeah, that's a pretty good team. You're playing 3 West Ham players, and unless you're concerned about that, I think that's a solid team, bro. Should I transfer out Holding for Ben Mee, says Lewis. Well, Lewis, I think you could. I mean, who do I prefer? If I had the money, I prefer Nick Pope over Ben Mee. I would love to go for Nick Pope, and since I didn't have the money, that is the reason I went from Robertson to Ben Mee. So if you kind of intend to do the same kind of transfers, then I think that's pretty decent one, because Holding. Who do Arsenal play against again? Not this game week. I mean, long term. I just need to kind of see. In a second, guys. I'm trying to find out. Arsenal have playing against Aston Villa this game week, and who are they playing against? They're playing against Leeds next, and then Manchester City, Leicester, Burnley, Tottenham. I mean, they don't have the best of fixtures, so I think I would be not against that move. Yeah, I think that's a good move. Saka or Gundogan, says Dave. Dave, if I was you, I'd possibly start Saka over Gundogan for this game week. I think he can expose Aston Villa. I mean, if West Ham can score 3 against them, I don't see a reason why Arsenal can't score 1 or 2 against them either. And Saka would be involved definitely. With Gundogan, if you don't have any of the City players, then I would be tempted to put him in. Otherwise, I would just put him on the bench. Cancelo or Wan-Bissaka? Guys, come on, give me some easy questions, please. With Cancelo or Wan-Bissaka, I'd say I'd be tempted to play Wan-Bissaka possibly over Cancelo. The thing is, with Wan-Bissaka and Cancelo, they both have tough fixtures. Do I expect both of them to keep clean sheets? I expect a little bit, Cancelo a little bit more to keep a clean sheet than Wan-Bissaka. But it's not much difference between them. Actually, I'm not sure about what is the form of Everton currently. They did beat Leeds, right? But they didn't look too good in the attacking sense. The goal that Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored was just from a set piece as well. So, FPL Jug says, who to play, Watkins or DCL? If I was you, I'd possibly play. Which one would I play out of Watkins and DCL? Because I'd say DCL is possibly the better player, but the fixture-wise, I'd say Watkins. The thing is, who's going to replace David Luiz in that Arsenal team is an important question for me. If it is Gabriel, then Gabriel and Holding I think are going to play in the defense, right? So I think Watkins maybe a little bit over DCL, possibly. Start Cavani or Souček. Really, the thing is, if Cavani starts the game, I think he's a really good option, and even against any team, I think Cavani should be preferred over Souček. The problem with Souček is if you put him on the bench and he hauls, you'll have a frustration, so if possible, start both of them. If I have to start one, then I would possibly start Cavani. And remember that, start Cavani if you expect him to start. Amin says, I don't know if I should put Pereira in or not. It depends on what your team looks like, my friend. Pereira, is he the best option for this game week? I mean, Spurs defense is pretty solid, right? So the goal that Chelsea scored, or the first goal that Chelsea scored, was so lucky for them. That is the reason they were able to score against Spurs in the first place. Otherwise, I think Spurs defense is pretty solid. Adrian says, should I get Pope alongside Martinez? Adrian, if you can spare the funds, I think that's a very good move in my opinion, targeting the double game week. Aditya says, team locked, Pope, Dallas, Sofal, Justin, Grealish, Bruno, Sterling, Salah. You've got Bruno, Sterling and Salah. Rafinha and Antonio, Captain Bamford. I think that's a pretty strong team right there, my friend. And you're benching all your City players, right? You're benching Cancelo, you're benching Stones, and you don't have playing Sterling, of course. Yeah, that's a pretty strong team, my friend. I like that. Martinez or Meslier? Meslier plays against Crystal Palace at home, and Martinez plays against... I mean, technically, I'd like to say Meslier because he has the easier fixture, but if I had these two, I would still play Martinez because I feel Leeds are really, really bad in a defensive sense, right? So, Bowen or Watkins? Watkins, I'd say. The thing is, if you don't... Do you have Antonio as well? If you have Antonio, then you divide the risk a bit. If you don't have, then I'd be thinking about Bowen as well. He hasn't done much in the past few weeks though. First says, first sub, Diaz, me or Brewster? Not Brewster. Me, I would say. I'd say Ben Mee should be the first sub in my opinion. Can they keep a clean sheet against Brighton? I think they can. Angad says, should I bring a Chelsea defender this week? Yeah, I mean you can. They have good fixtures. You can bring in Rudiger. The problem is Thiago Silva got a bit of a knock. Not sure if he's going to play or not. With Antonio Rudiger, he's 4.6 million. I don't think there's a much risk in bringing in a Chelsea defender. Also, you can go for somebody like Edouard Mendy. Like he's their goalkeeper. At least he's nailed on to start every game. So, but yeah, if you want to go for a Chelsea defender, I wouldn't be against it. But remember, don't bring in somebody like Chilwell, at least who we don't know is nailed on to start or not. Woo. Alright guys, I'm gonna go have a drink of water. Meanwhile, please do like the stream, and if you enjoy what I do here, please don't forget to subscribe. Alright, I'm back. There was a hesitation in your voice, not convincing, mate. No, there wasn't a hesitation in my voice. The thing is, I was asking you whether you own Antonio or not, and that is the reason why I was a little bit. I wanted your answer first before I could give you a good answer, bro. By the way, there could be a hesitation in my voice because I don't want to give you a wrong answer. I'm just giving you my opinions, guys. If you should make your own transfers, you should listen to my opinions. You should listen to the reasons that I give you. But please, guys, be accountable for your own transfers. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know why I keep saying this every week. I am an FPL wizard. I am not a real wizard, guys. Please spare me for if something happens. If whatever I suggest you doesn't go well, it doesn't work for my team every time as well, guys. You know, this is FPL. We don't know what's gonna happen. Wilson or Watkins? I mean, I'd be tempted to say Watkins, but it depends on what your team is. Why? I'd like to know your whole team, bro. Fast says 3 defenders I'm playing: Rudiger, Cancelo, Justin benching Diaz, and me. That looks pretty much right to me. You know, although me does have a good fixture, but you know, it depends on your strategy. All your defenders are good, in fact. I mean, even Diaz and me are pretty good. Ridwan says Watkins out, Antonio in. Yeah, if you want to, my friend. I mean, in my opinion, who are the best 3 forward options at this moment in time? I'd say if you want a budget forward line, you know, Antonio, Bamford, and Watkins would be my choice for the budget option. So if you want to go for that, you can. Captain Adams or Maguire. I want to go on a mega differential. So Kraj, I am not sure about Maguire or Adams. I mean, if you want to go for a differential, you should think about Antonio, you know, Antonio or even Son. I don't think too many people are going to captain Son. I think many people are going to captain Fernandes, just like I am. You can go for Antonio, you know, for a differential. Why Adams or Maguire? I don't understand, bro. Your captain pick quiz. Yeah, my captain is Bruno Fernandes, Jug. I'm not going to change it. Lee says hello, Wiz. Hey Lee, welcome, my friend. So Kraj says, and also if maybe start Sanchez or McCarthy. I mean, if I was you, I'd start McCarthy a little bit. I think Southampton are going to be defensive, although I think Sanchez has been doing really well for Brighton. But if I had those 2 options, I'd still be tempted to start McCarthy. Lee says, would you captain Antonio over Fernandes? Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem over captaining Antonio over Fernandes. I'd just like to say this. I think Antonio has been doing well ever since he's come back to the team, and if I were captaining Antonio over Fernandes, I wouldn't have any problem in that as well. Vivek says play Barnes and bench DCL. Yes, I think yes, that it's pretty much in the balance, Vivek. Because I'm not sure whether Vardy is going to start or not. Roger said he was fit. So it depends on whether Vardy starts or not. But yes, I think that can be done. You know, Oliver says play Gundogan or DCL. You can. It depends on your team, my friend. If you have the team which is similar to what I have, then I think you can play DCL if you want to divide the risk a bit. Especially if you're starting Salah and you have him in the team. Should I captain Rafinha? Says Wood. If you want to, you can. I mean, the thing is, you know, if you take the price out of FPL, there would be so many players that we would find, you know, easy in captaining them. The problem is with these players, you know, they're like 5 point something players, and it just doesn't feel right to us. You know, that is the world that we are living in right now. Everything is about money and capitalism. Rupam says Sofal or Dallas. Well, Rupam, it depends on which players you have. If you have Antonio, if you have Souček, then I think you can divide the risk and play Dallas. If you don't have Souček or Antonio, if you just have one of them, then I think Sofal is also a good option. Bass says thanks for the input. Where's team lock? Time to play Valorant. Yeah, well, playing Valorant is good, but remember, I always say your instinct will only help you if you watch the games. If you just, you know, if you're sitting in front of the computer and you're thinking, alright, why not I select this player? Your instinct can only guide you if you watch the games or you watch the highlights, and you know, inside of your mind, you know which player is playing how, which team is playing how, what is the form of a certain player, and then you let your mind make the decision, let your instinct guide you. But if you just, you know, just taking a gamble, kind of just sitting in front of the computer or opening your mobile app and just taking a gamble, I don't feel that's worth it. But that is the reason I always advise everyone to watch the games. DZ Arabic Whispers says Bamford or Benrahma. Bamford. I'd say Bamford, yeah. Chilwell replacement, says Matthew. Well, Matthew, you can replace him with Alonso. You can replace him with Rudiger as well. Sagar says Alonso as a captain option this game week. I mean, you can if you want to, but I think Sheffield are improving a little bit. Are they going to score against Chelsea? I think not. Are they going to concede too many to Chelsea? I think not. So, you make the decision. Ooh. Should I do Barnes to Son? John, do you really want to do Barnes to Son, especially as they play against Manchester City in the next game week? So, long term, I don't. At least for the next 2 or 3 fixtures, I don't think it's a pretty favorable move. If you just want to do it for 1 week, then you might as well. Think about it. Son is not the best option to bring in because of the way Spurs are playing. I have no problem with the fixture. I've just got a problem with the form of Tottenham. My word, guys. Today I just have too many questions. I haven't had a time to talk about the culinary advices that we generally give here on the channel. What was your transfer, says Refusion. I took out Andy Robertson and I brought in Ben Mee, John. AWF says thoughts about Chilwell. I don't know. What's up with Chilwell? I don't know why he's not playing. I mean, I honestly feel that Chilwell is a better player than Alonso, but maybe Tuchel just wants the attacking threat that Alonso offers more than the technical solidity that Chilwell does offer. So we need to wait and watch, because Tuchel is a bit like a Super Saiyan Pep Guardiola would be, or Thomas Tuchel in terms of rotating the players. He rotates players like crazy, does Thomas Tuchel. That is the reason I'm not jumping on Chelsea players until I see at least 5 or 6 of their games and see a template team forming there. Who to captain, Bruno or Antonio? I think they are both great options, my friend. There's nothing to choose between them in my opinion. They are both on penalties as well. Makedeep says early kickoff is so beneficial for us international fans. Well, it is, my friend, but unfortunately last season it was much more beneficial when we would know the early team news, but now they pushed the deadline back to 1.5 hours and we don't have any early team news anymore, so it would have been so much better, right? Varun says, should I bring in Pope for Areola this game week? Areola has a double game week in 24. Well, I think even though Areola has a double game week in 24, I feel the games that Pope has are better. Why don't you bring him in for the other keeper, my friend? And keep Areola as well. He's not the most expensive keeper, so why not keep Areola and get Pope for the other keeper if you want? That there's this option as well. Rupam says, I have Souček, Antonio, Sofal, Dallas, Bamford, Rafinha. It's all about starting Sofal, Dallas. I need to know why you are starting Dallas over Sofal. Well, I am starting Dallas over Sofal because I want to divide the risk a bit. I want to kind of, I don't want to put all my eggs in the West Ham United basket. That is the reason I put Antonio and Souček in my team, and that is the reason I put Sofal out. Because I just didn't want to, I wanted to divide the risk a bit, and then Bamford and Dallas, because Dallas has got this attacking threat. So that is the reason, my friend. Yazid says, sell Chilwell and buy Van Bissaka or Cresswell or me. Well, at this moment in time, buying Ben Mee could be a good option because Ben Mee has a double game week in game week 24 and he has a good fixture in this game week in 23 as well as in game week 25. So short term, I think Ben Mee could be the good option to go for. Chopman says, why are you benching Gundogan and start with DCL? Chopman, the reason is I've already got Salah, I've already got Diaz from that match, right? And it is, I don't want to put too many eggs in the Liverpool Manchester City basket. I'm trying to stay away from that a little bit, so I just want to divide the risk. So, yeah. Shall I take a -4 for a Burnley defender to replace Justin? No, in my opinion, not. Just play Justin this game week, and in the next game week, you just transfer him out for free if you want a Burnley defender. Don't take a -4, bro. Rudiger for Chilwell, what do you think, says KD. I think, yes, you can do it. The thing is, I'm not sure whether Alonso is gonna continue on playing, whether it was an injury to Chilwell. Why did Alonso take the place of Chilwell? That is the reason why what I'm not sure about. Is Rudiger nailed on from the first 3 games? It seems so, but you can't say. But who is the best option from Chelsea defense in terms of value? I think it's Rudiger. FPL Jug says Captain Dyer. Well, my opinion about that, bro. I just don't like to captain defenders. Just don't like that. Gundogan or Rafinha as a 5th midfielder. Shubkaran, depends whether you're playing Cancelo. If you're playing Cancelo, then bench Gundogan and play Rafinha. Divide the risk a bit. If not, then you can play. But if I would definitely play Rafinha, no matter what. Ian says, would you captain Bamford over Bruno? Would I captain Bamford? not so much. Would I captain Antonio over Bruno? Possibly. Possibly. Alishbani says Mahrez or Gundogan to bench. Would Mahrez even play? I'm not sure. If I was you, I'd possibly transfer out Mahrez for Grealish. I don't think Mahrez is a consistent option in FPL, my friend. Honestly, if I had to play one out of those two, I'd possibly still play Gundogan over Mahrez because he's on penalties, right? It's a tough one, my friend. By the way, guys, I just have to tell you, 10 minutes are left for the deadline. I'd tell you all to go lock your teams and then come back to the stream. Don't leave, but just lock your teams. Someone says you're planning to play McCarthy in Gameweek 25 and he has a double in spite of both tough fixtures. Yeah, well, the thing is, at least he has a double game week, right? And if he gets 4 points, that's still better than getting 2. So, I mean, he might get some save points, he might get a clean sheet, who knows? At least you should always try to play a player who has a double game week. Give him 2 chances. If he misses, bro. Khaleesi says Captain Bamford. If you want to. For me, I just don't trust. Leeds are a team which cannot be predicted. They cannot be trusted. I mean, they blanked against Newcastle. For heaven's sake, they blanked against Newcastle and then they scored against. They blanked against Brighton. They blanked against Newcastle. And which team did they score against? Which I was least expecting them to. Yeah, against Leicester. They beat Leicester away from home. They blanked against Brighton. They blanked against Newcastle. They scored against Leicester away from home. They are the most unpredictable team. That is the reason I don't want to captain Bamford. Katie says, what about Lowton? I think Lowton is a good option. The reason why I went for Ben Mee over Matt Lowton is that Ben Mee has a little bit of a set piece attacking threat. Lowton doesn't offer that much. He doesn't have any attacking a return this season until now. So that is the reason I went for Ben Mee. Deep breath. Alright. Matthew says Shaw is a good option. I think so, yes. His numbers are amazing, you know. Wow says Wilson or Watkins. Wow, I already asked you, my friend. Can you tell me your full team? That is the way I'd be better placed to comment on it. App says bench Dallas or Sofal. Again, it depends on your team, guys. If you ask me this just on the face value, I'd say play Sofal over Dallas. But it depends on what is the structure of your team. Salam says who's in and who's out of your lineup. I transferred out Andy Robertson for Ben Mee. Salam. I'm targeting the double game week in Gameweek 24, but I also thought he had a good fixture in Gameweek 23, so I just made the transfer because I had one free transfer that I had to burn because otherwise it would have got wasted. Refusion says, who would you transfer Wood out to? I mean, do you really want to transfer out Wood? I think he's coming back, right? Did he play? Did Chris Wood play? Just let me check. Because they have a double game week in the next game week. I mean, do you really want to transfer him out now? Since you held him... Oh, he's definitely out, isn't he? Hamstring. Yeah, well, if he's out, then I'd say Bamford, Antonio, or Watkins. These are my options. Zizo says, the best and cheapest store. Okay. I don't want any coins, my friend. Right now, I just want that the deadline should come and I can just relax because I've been answering too many questions. You know, my brain has a limit. Prab says, I've got Bruno, Cap, Rafinha, Salah, Grealish in mid and Antonio Bamford in the front. Should I rather play Watkins or Gundo with these players? You've got Rafinha, Salah and Grealish and Antonio and Bamford. I mean, if I was you, I'd possibly start Gundogan there because, you know, you already have Grealish in there. Someone says, going with the Son captain. I am just 11 points behind you. Have to go with my gut. See you on the other side. I really, you know, I just want you to go with your gut. Absolutely. Just remember, again, I repeat again and again, guys. Eye test helps your gut decide better, helps your instinct make better decisions. I don't know if it makes any sense, but you know, your instinct doesn't come from sixth sense, right? Your instinct comes from watching the games, having the knowledge of you know. The electrician says all Fulham players. I don't know what that means, bro. Timmy says I want to sub Socek for Wilson. Bro, you make that decision again. On paper, Socek is a good option if you play him in the playing 11 every week. He can blank against Fulham, I'm telling you right now, and he can score against any team because he's mostly dependent on headers to score. Limford captain Lingard, you mean, right? No, in my opinion, would I captain Lingard if I had him? Possibly wouldn't. I want to see more of him before I can decide on that, bro. Very hard for me to say. Tell you to captain Lingard. If you have the instinct, you go them. Aaron Van Bissaka or Gundogan. Jaffe, it depends on your team. Objectively, just looking at your question, I'd say possibly Gundogan, but I have to see your team before I can say that, right? Nicholas says, which order of the bench between Stones, DCL and Holding? DCL 1, Stones 2, Holding 3, or maybe Holding 2 and Stones 3, I'd put DCL on the bench, number 1, always. The striker. Gundogan or Diaz? As you can see, Stan, I have Diaz in my team and Gundogan on the bench, bro. But but it depends on what formation you are playing, because I'm kind of obliged to play Diaz because I have to have 3 defenders. Captaining Antonio, says George Lyle. He's due a couple of goals. I agree with that. He definitely is due a couple of goals. I have no problem with the Antonio captain. I think he's a very good option. DCL or Grealish on the bench? DCL. I'd say Grealish is a better option than DCL. Is Bamford a good captain? Stephen, I gave my opinion about Bamford. Leeds are a very unpredictable team. Would I want to captain Bamford over somebody like Antonio? Possibly wouldn't. Have you used your bench boost? Yeah, I've already used my bench boost, bro. I got 134 points from game week 19. So yeah, I've used my bench boost and pretty successfully as well. Alright guys, I'm going to refresh my team so you can see that this is my final team for the game week. I haven't made any changes on the stream to my team today. I hope that's a good thing. Generally when I do make changes, it always turns out to be bad. Gundogan or DCL to start? Jashan says, hey Wiz, can you watch in your crystal ball and tell me about Antonio? My captain is the Antonio. I think Antonio is a great option, guys. And now everybody's talking about Antonio. I'm pretty much saying that Antonio is a great option. Is he the best? He's possibly up there with the best options in this game week. Is Vardy good chance? I think Vardy has a chance to play. Rogers said he was fit, right? So do I know for sure whether he's going to start or not? I think he's going to get some minutes. Whether he's going to start or not, I can't say. And is he the good chance for captaincy? In my opinion, I wouldn't. Against Wolves, no. George Lyle says, benching 3 City seems crazy, but surely Sofal outscores Diaz. Not sure about that, George. I think City can keep a clean sheet against Liverpool, right? City have been really, really solid, and Liverpool haven't been really strong in attack. So, I just didn't want to take that risk because I still feel that one City defender isn't much of a problem in my team. For West Ham, I already have Socek, I've already got Antonio, I've got cover there, right? With City, I don't have any cover if I bench Diaz. But again, high risk, high reward, bro. It's always the same. 1 minute left, guys. No more questions. Go lock your teams, please. Don't miss the deadline. Otherwise, all these discussions will amount for nothing. All right? Go and lock your teams, everybody. 1 minute to go to the deadline. Lock your teams. I found it so weird. We didn't have any lighthearted discussions today on the stream, guys. There have been so many questions. What was about this game week that we had so many questions on the stream today? It was weird, right? Generally, we do find the time for some jokes or some humorous moments, but today we didn't. It was hard for me to stop and have a drink of water. That was the amount of questions that we had today. So here goes the deadline, my friends. The deadline for Gameweek 23 is now over. The decisions that you made, the discussions that we had, all lead to this game week. Solomon says, take some rest, bro. You've been speaking for an hour and a half. Yeah, I definitely. I think I'll just go early today and I'll have a rest because been quite a strenuous deadline stream. I I did enjoy it a lot, but it does take up a lot of your mind and a lot of your brain to answer these questions. But I enjoy it a lot. So I love doing this. I love doing what I do. Aditya says today's fun fact: 60% of our genes are identical to that of a banana. Right on. Light Ray says you literally got hit with questions. I did, didn't I? And the problem was not the questions. I mean, the questions were so difficult. I mean, somebody asks you who to play, SoFal or Dallas. I mean, how am I supposed to answer that? It's really difficult to answer unless I know all your teams, right? Because if I don't know whether you've got Antonio and Socek, if you have Bamford or Rafinha, how can I tell you whether to play Socek? I mean, whether to play SoFal or Dallas? It's kind of difficult. And the reason why I don't want to kind of make categorical statements is because I haven't seen the entire team of the person, and I don't want to give you wrong advice. So sometimes these things happen, but I hope the coming game weeks are a little bit easier, and we've got black and white fixtures, unlike this game week in which there are no black and white fixtures. That is the reason I saw so many Antonio captains. So I hope not all game weeks are as hard as this. FPL Jug says benched SoFal, Stones, Zaha, and Son. Wasn't Zaha injured in the last game? I thought he got injured, right? I'm not sure, by the way. Ramanathan says have a good game week. You too, my friend. I hope you have a great game week as well. I hope you do too. Alright, so with this, guys, I think we should. I think I should go have a cup of tea and take some rest before I can get myself ready to watch the games in the evening. So with this, guys, we come to an end of today's deadline stream, and if you would like to support the channel, and if you would like to support what we do here, you will see a join link right next to the subscribe. You can click on that. You can become a member of the FPL Wizard channel and the FPL Wizard community. You can also join our free Discord server, in which we have a really good community. They talk about FPL, and you'll have some good advice and some good FPL chat in the Discord. So all the links are in the description if you want to become a member, if you want to join our Discord server, or you want to follow me on Twitter. You'll find all the links in the description. And on this note, my friends, I'd like to end this Game Week 23 deadline stream. I hope you all have a great game week, and I hope you all stay safe and take care of yourselves, and I will see you very soon with another video. But till then, take care of yourselves, have a great game week, and may the arrows be green. FPL Visit signing out with a beautiful song for you. Bye bye, guys. Take care and have a great game week.